Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Ontomado Show. I'm your host, Ambassador Dr. Uwa Onyoha Osimere, your internet auntie. I'm also the president of the African Women Mobilization Commission, a nonprofit organization taking proactive action for change in the lives of women and children. Ntomoto means words of wisdom we share to add to your repertoire. By we, me and my guests today, however, is a solo presentation. There are just some topics that I like to just talk with my audience. I would like to welcome my viewers on Facebook page, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. Thank you for joining me today. Why is this show important? Well, welcome to a world where our stories aren't just whispered in the wind. They're belted out like a karaoke night gone wild. This platform is here to amplify the voices that shape our community. And trust us, it's a concert you don't want to miss. By tuning in, you not only snag valuable insights, but also join a movement that's all about celebrating success, culture, and unity. Think of it as the ultimate potluck where everyone brings their best dish. So bring your dish, sit down. If you haven't had breakfast, this is a good time to have breakfast. Get your coffee, sit down, let's chat. But hold on, there's more. To keep this show rolling, it's important that we have your support. Hit that subscribe button and become a vital part of our journey. After all, every subscription is like a high five from you to us, helping us serve up even more inspiring content. So let's make some noise together and show the world just how powerful the Ntomodo community can be. Because if we're going to change the world, we might as well do it with a little flair and a lot of laughs and joy. Before we go any further, I would really like to share this beautiful AI art video. I have the permission of the artist Surreal Vision Arts to share it in this show. Please visit Surreal Vision Arts on YouTube. It is a colorful, very colorful video. And as a matter of fact, what I'd like to do with it is every time I turn it on, it's usually when I have my coffee, I just turn it on and just listen to the music and listen to the look at the colors. It's so colorful. I'm sure many of you already are familiar with this website, but let me tell you, it is just absolutely, to me, phenomenal. And I am hoping that you enjoy it. I'm just going to play a little bit of it so that you can just see what I enjoy in the morning. If you're not doing that, you should. It is really, really a beautiful creativity. I mean, you talk about creativity, the colors, the dances, the music, the everything. How they package this together is just absolutely mesmerizing. And I just enjoy watching it. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of it. And you please visit Surreal Art on YouTube. Here you go.
Raffia on my shoulders, night on my skin. Old road behind me, a new circle begins. I mark my place in dust and stone. Not for the camera, this rhythm feels like home. Hold the ground. Hold the ground. Turn on around. Turn around. Turn around. Stake in the earth, circle away. Spin with the drum till the daylight breaks. Hands in the air, feet in the sand. We move together to a pulse that stands.
Just a little bit, just a little taste of this wonderful, I mean, the artist is just very creative. I mean, there's so, if you go to that website, if you go to the YouTube channel, let me tell you, there are so many of them. It's just the most beautiful thing that you can watch on a daily basis as you sit and you're having your coffee or whatever you're doing. But that, anyway, that's my high right there. One of the things that I love to do. So anyway, let's now go to the conversation of today. Let's get inspired. Now we're diving into a topic that many of us struggle with, but few of us truly understand the importance of letting go. Sometimes when we know individuals who are, we don't see them anymore. Where are they? We don't see you anymore, you say. It is not because there's something wrong all the time. It's certainly good to check up on somebody to see how they're doing, which we should do more often, yeah? But sometimes people are just deciding that they are better off just finding moments to themselves, letting go, because sometimes we get so mixed up with so much, you know. So when we think about letting go, it kind of, we tend to think it's a negative thing. It's not. So I personally have had to let go. I was, one of those social animals, if you will. Wherever the music played, whatever the song was, wherever the call was, I was there. Dr. Osimiri, can you do? Yes, before you even and before you even get through saying it or asking me, I'm there, you know. But I've just realized, and I don't know if it has to do anything with getting older and becoming a little bit more wiser. I have found that there's nothing negative about letting go, And so for some of us, we say that, when somebody lets something go, it's a sign of irresponsibility, like leaving, if you have a project that you're doing and you don't finish it, or you ignore an injustice. Yes, that you can say is has negative connotation, but I invite you to reconsider this perspective. Okay, letting go isn't about neglect. Let's get that straight. When somebody says I let go, doesn't mean they're being neglectful. Okay, it's about survival. Sometimes you've got to let go so you can survive. We live in a fast-paced world, where social media floods us every day with information and demands our constant attention. And some of us live in this bubble. Some of us live in the internet. Some of us have no life out there. Now, in such situations, you find individuals who are not, who are maybe depressed, and this is their way out, constantly being on the internet, demanding attention one way or the other, But, pardon me, they are just individuals who are learning to let go. There are individuals who know that if I'm not out there, I don't have to be always on the internet. Sometimes I have a show, so I'm on the I'm on the show, I'm on the internet for that purpose. But I don't always have to seek internet recognition, individuals in my space. I don't always have to chat with everybody. Now and then I'll go like on Facebook, on my Instagram, I will post something here and there, maybe something of interest, but I don't have that urge that I must be there. It doesn't make me feel any better because I'm there. People are listening to me all the time, or people are paying attention to me all the time. When I do the show, yes, it goes without saying that I'm going to be in a position to be talking to the community, but after that, I kind of pull back. It becomes essential for me. And as we navigate our own personal relationships, often the round the clock affairs, it's impossible to respond to everything. And we need to know that your health depends on your ability and willingness to know you don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to accept every invitation. Some invitation, yes, but not all of it. You don't have to constantly be with people. So we need to develop the ability to differentiate between what deserves our energy and what we can release. Not everything deserves our energy. So we need to know what it means to let go. So let's explore this further. In many African cultures, the concept of letting go can be seen as a form of wisdom. For instance, In the teachings of various African philosophies, there is an understanding that life is a cycle. What we hold on to can weigh us down. While we want to release, when we release some items, some things, it can lead us to new beginnings. You don't always think about it this way. You have a luggage, right? You know, and as you go along, this luggage, you started with this luggage, it wasn't that heavy, but you just started adding to it and started adding to it. And sooner or later, as you drag that luggage with you, it becomes weightier and weightier. And before you know, it starts to drag you down, it starts to slow you down. You need to know what's in that luggage. It's time to start taking some things out. And you find as you take things out of your luggage, you become a whole lot more lighter. You can move around a little bit better, than constantly being everywhere, collecting this and collecting and putting in that luggage. So it's important for you to prepare yourself for new beginnings. Don't hold on too much. Don't hold on too long. Know what it is you're holding on to. And there's nothing wrong with you because you're pulling away. And I'm not suggesting that you should not keep company. Of course you should. We all enjoy company, but just don't overdo it. Don't spread yourself thin. My son, sometimes when I fret over something, oh, you know what, I really can't make this. I can't be a part of this. I can't be a part of this. And I'm fretting over it. And he says, well, Mom, you can only do so much. You can't be in 10 places at one time. Even though in our minds we think, oh, we've got to be there. No, you don't. You have to be able to differentiate what deserves your energy. Now, seriously, you may like somebody and you want to be with them, but the question you have to ask yourself, what does this do for me? Does it wear me down? At the end of the day, when I come out of that environment, how better off am I? Am I really, really better off being associated with all this goings on, if I may use that expression? So let's consider the story of the baobab tree, often referred to as the tree of life. This mighty tree sheds its leaves in the dry season to conserve energy, only to bloom again when the rains come. It teaches us that letting go is not an end, but rather preparation for growth and renewal. I mean, I'm not suggesting that this is easy. It's not easy, particularly when we're so used to doing it. We're so used to being everywhere. We're so used to trying to make people feel good about us or like us and all of that. We spread ourselves thin. You need to be prepared to shed some of the leaves. And it doesn't mean when you let some people go or let some things go, it doesn't mean those people are bad people. It doesn't mean that those things are bad necessarily. It just means that at that moment, you cannot give your energy to something that when at the end of the day, you feel like you've been used up. You feel like you can't go in, something, instead of you feeling good, you feel awful. So sometimes just shedding, so to speak, shedding your old leaves so that the new bloom will come. You see, sometimes there are some individuals in your life, you need to let them go, not because, like I said earlier, not because they're bad. There's some people who come into your life just to be there for a temporary moment. They don't have to be, and you don't feel bad when they disappear. Something else may have come into their lives. They may be doing something different, and you're just not a part of it. Or you've decided to do something different, and they're just not a part of it. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. It doesn't mean something wrong with you. There may be some things that you have accumulated, and you become a pack rat. There's just some things you got to let them go, and you find that the things that you let go, you make room for new things. In your mind, physically, spiritually, sometimes just let it go. Yeah, some people say, well, Dr. Simmery, it's not that easy. I understand that. It's not that easy. And I'm not suggesting that it is easy. I'm just suggesting it's something you need to contemplate. You need to think about how important it is to carry all these horrible, horrible load with you. And I say horrible because if you're not benefiting from these associations, if you're not benefiting from the load you're carrying, then it becomes horrible because it drains you. It drains you. That's why I say, like the music I played, the surreal art, it's AI, but it it's so, and I don't have to fight with anybody. I just sit down and enjoy it. That moment that I'll probably be on the phone just running my mouth with somebody you know that has issues that I'm supposed to deal with, I take that moment to enjoy something that moves my spirit. And that's the same thing. I've become a whole lot more selective who my friends are. I used to have a ton of, well, they're not really friends, they were associates. They were really associates. The people I called friends were really just, associates. They were not really friends. But as you get older, that the number starts to shrink, and you start to realize, oh my goodness, I really didn't need to have all that crowd. I'm fine just the way I am. So sometimes when people think that because you're not in their space anymore, there's something wrong with you, that is not true. That's not true. Um, let's not forget the emotional toll of holding on to things that no longer serve us. It can really imprison us in a cycle of negativity. Whether it's a past relationship, a job that drains us, or toxic friendships, these burdens can impede our ability to thrive. There's sometimes that we just stick to a job. Well, it pays the bills and all that, and little by little we're dying because we don't like the job. The job gets in our way of. Let me just give you an example. I used to operate group homes for the mentally challenged. Yes, the money was good. I enjoyed taking care of the individuals that I took care of, the residents in my group home. I enjoyed taking care of them. But after a while, it became a problem for me because I have I have to be on call 24/7. And what that means is my peace of mind was gone, you know, and my peace of mind was gone, and I was not able to really enjoy my life. Everything was all about the group homes. Everything was all about my residents. That was it. And of course, you had all the uh, the state comes in consistently to audit and whatever. So it's from one audit to the other, and you find yourself when the staff don't show up. You find yourself in the you find yourself constantly on call, and 2 a.m. in the morning you're up. That was a job. The money was good, but let me tell you, I enjoyed, it wasn't the money, it was just the fact that I really truly enjoyed my residence. I enjoyed doing the work. But then it started to wear me down. I mean, it started to wear me down. No peace of mind, constant harassment, constant leaving my home very early in the morning or late at night to go and be in the group home because somebody did not show up or something of that nature. So I had to let it go. I had to let every aspect of it go. I went back to school to work on my doctorate. I had to let that go. Some people thought I was crazy. Oh my God, you're going to you could just let something that lucrative go. No, 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 no. It's not about being lucrative. It's about taking care of people. But then at the same time, when that starts to wear you down, then the emotional weight and emotional toll was just too much for me. And I could not, you know, quite frankly, it started becoming a burden, impeded my ability to thrive because, and the other thing that was frustrating about it is that, your conversations with people, you find yourself around individuals who are mainly operating group homes. So your conversation was always focused on clients and all of that sort of thing, you know. So I was not able to expand my friends, my pool of friends. It was just mainly people who were operating group homes. So anyway, and I'm not suggesting by any means that people operating group homes don't have a life. That's no, but I'm just talking about me. So the emotional weight was too much for me. All the good things about it was there. There were good things about running group homes because you're taking care of people who needed help and things of that nature. But after a while, the other aspect of it, now, if it was all about just taking care of the the population I was taking care of, that would be one thing. But it's all the other things that go along with it that just so consuming, mind consuming, physically consuming. It was just too much. And so I had to let that go. So sometimes, something that you think you really you have to do, you know, it's okay to do what you have to do, but sometimes that have to do, you have to weigh it. You have to ask yourself, how is that impacting you emotionally, physically, and spiritually? So by letting go, all we're doing, quite frankly, is we're creating a space for new opportunities and relationships that can enrich our lives. It's an act of self-care, believe it or not, and a crucial step towards rediscovering ourselves. Sometimes when we talk about self-care, you think about going to the doctors, well, that's self-care. You think about the diet, that's self-care. You think about what kind of medications that you're taking, all that self-care. But sometimes we get lost and not realizing that letting go is also part of self-care, because what you're doing is eliminating those things that are not helping you spiritually and mentally. So it's really very important that we start to consider the benefits of letting go of things that don't work. I'm not talking about letting go of those people or those things that work. Some of you have some very, very good friends. You hold on to those friends because they will be with you for the rest of your life. But those ones that have moved on, let them go. It's okay. They're not bad people. It's just that the time frame that they're supposed to be in your life has come and gone. They don't need to be in your life anymore. They've served their purpose. It's now time for you to move on. You don't get stuck. You don't just keep individuals in your life that are not benefiting you. And because if you do that, you don't have anybody to blame but yourself. See, I say this very honestly. You can't talk about what people are doing to you when you allow it. Anything that's happening in your life, you are allowing it. Wherever your behind your behind finds itself, your butt finds itself, your mind put it there. So if you have people who are abusive to you, your mind put you there, because you can come out if you wanted to. But the question is, do you want to? Or you just want to stay there and be abused? You just want to be there so you'll be liked and be loved and all that sort of thing. So it's really, really, really very important that we have this conversation. Have it with yourself. Have it with yourself. Have it by yourself, however you want to do it. But it's okay. It's okay if you just have those one or two friends that you chat with, that you call up. I challenge all of you. How many people do you really call? How many people are in your circle that you pick up the phone to call? If you are not calling them, they're not really your friends. If all you're doing is texting them, they're really not your friends. My friend, I pick up the phone and call. I don't text my friends. I call them. Now, occasionally in me text, but for the most part, I'll call and say, hey, what's up? How you doing? Now, those are people I want in my space that bring goodness to me, to my spirit. I had a friend who has passed away. I was at let me see. I don't remember exactly where I was when I was called. She had passed away. It's like the bottom fell out of my life. I couldn't believe it. She just like that. I had spoken to her 2 days before, and she said she wasn't feeling very well. And I told her, you know what, Chief, you have to go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. And she said, oh, she will. She will. And when I got this call, she had passed away. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. My very, very dear friend. What made her dear to me was the fact that whenever I had a problem, I could talk to her. But I can talk to her if my problem makes sense. Now, the problem may make sense to me, but to her, it may just be me just being silly, just raving and ranting about nothing. And so you call her, she will say, okay, I want you to look out the window. And you look out the window. She says, is the sun shining? She said, I say, yes. She said, take a big, deep breath. I take a deep breath. He said, you still breathing? He says, okay. Now, you can call me back when you really have real problems, because there are people who died yesterday and people who have nothing to eat, and you want to cry about what? You know, I appreciated her, for being blunt. Some things that I think is important to whine about, she didn't think was important to whine about. And so based on that, I valued her friendship. So I would call constantly, you know, narrow. I didn't make it a point of duty after a while to have too many friends. So some I let go, but this one I did let go. Two of them actually, I did not let go. But when she passed away, it's like the bottom fell out. Who was I going to talk to now? Who had my back? She did, you know. But if you have friends, if you have people that all you do is text them and you don't care to hear their voice, they're associates of some sort. They're not your friends. Yes, I said it. They're not your friends. Friends call friends. Friends just don't text friends. Friends go out to eat. Friends go out to party or whatever. Those people that you enjoy doing that with, those you have to hold on to. Now, those who all you do is text, okay, well, admit to yourself, they're not your friends, but they're associates that you have some kind of commonality with, But as the time, if you have too many of such people, and it's not doing your spirit any good, then it's time for you to kind of start considering letting go. Letting go. It's not going to kill you. If all you're doing with them is just texting anyway, and then it's okay for them to go. So what are some of the practical steps that you should take to let go? Well, take the time. If you have a pen and pad, use it. Identify what holds you back. Journaling can be a powerful tool. Use it. And part of living is not just getting up in the morning and take your shower, eat your food, and walk out, and go to work. Sometimes you have to take stock of your life. You have to be able to determine what works and what doesn't work so that you don't incorporate it every day in your life. And that impacts your well-being. It impacts your emotional weight. So take the time. Don't just exist. Make sure that your life is worth everything you give it. Take the time to identify what's holding you back. Is it the job? Is it some so-called friends? Is it a place that you have no business being at? What is it that's holding you back? If you can find 10 things that are holding you back, and then you find 3 that are not holding you back, stick to the 3 and let those 10 go. Because what's the point? What's the point of holding on to something that's holding you back? That's number 1. So do some reflection. The second thing that's very important is practice mindfulness. Engage in meditation or deep breathing exercises. Many of us don't do it. And you probably don't do it. It helps you become aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Just meditate. And I tell you, one of the difficult things about meditation, and some people have admitted that to me, is that when you close your eyes, it seems like everything just kind of shows up in your mind. You start thinking, oh my God, I have to do this. No, you have to find something to meditate about. All those other things will be there. And if you want to meditate on them, pick 1 or 2 and meditate on that. But don't allow all those noise in your head to conflict with what is important. So meditate. Find what it is you need to meditate on. Deep breathing, try not to have people around you when you're doing that, because, it becomes a distraction. You need to become aware of your thoughts and be in control of your thoughts and your feelings. And at that moment that you're by yourself, nobody's judging you. The only judge is you and the divine. It's between you and the divine, just you and the divine. Nobody to distract you, nobody to judge you. So find time to practice. Now, this is what you need to do every day. You go to work and, sometimes somebody obsesses us at work. And we want to, we want to get so angry that, I can't wait. When I get back tomorrow, I'm going to tell him, or I'm going to tell her this. No, you don't have to do none of that. They become an aside. They're a side story. Don't react to them. Learn when to say, okay, this person gets in my, in my way, but I'm not going to react to it. I'm not going to let them, impact me mentally. So you have to know, who is in your space that is holding you back or disturbing you. But it's also important how you react. Don't react angrily. And I have to admit, I used to be a spitfire. If you upset me, you're going to hear it. I'm going to make sure that you understand how I feel about it. But you know what? To what end? There's some things that are just not worth it. There's some battles you don't need to fight. Let it go. It's their problem. When somebody calls you an N word and all that nonsense, and you want to get all bent out of shape, that is their problem. If you're going to take time to abuse somebody who did nothing to you, then you're the problem, not the person that you're calling names. So I don't react to that. I always say, God gave everybody the opportunity to be stupid. Just don't hug it. And some people hug stupidity. And so when you run across that kind of person, those are the kinds of people that hold you back. Don't react to it. Don't react to it. Unless if your life is threatened, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. Anybody who calls somebody names, or names that you hear and you get worked up over it. Sometimes you can work up. It can cause you. It can cause you harm reacting to nonsense. There are people who are just full of nonsense. You just have to ignore them. That at work, there's some of them even in your own home. You just have to pick your battles. So, like I said, reflect, and then practice mindfulness. And then sometimes, if you find that, you're getting a little bit overwhelmed, that's why you go and look for support. There's some things that we can solve on our own, but sometimes we need an outside perspective, like a professional. You can also talk to a friend, a good friend, and I'm not talking about associates, because associates will take your story and spread it. Find that good friend, that person you can trust, or somebody who's maybe a mentor, who can help you to clarify what you have to let go. So if you find that you're not able to handle this on your own, it may be important that you seek somebody to help you, a professional, like I said, a very good friend. That very good friend, may just be what the doctor ordered. All right. But again, remember, you have to be able to differentiate between associates and friends. Friends, people you can trust, people you can tell your troubles and they'll listen. Oh, but I caution you though, if you have some really personal things, like if you were married, you have a boyfriend and all that, those kinds of things, even to friends, you don't share. Some things belong to you. There are certain things you can share with even your friends, but then there are some private things that your friends don't have to know. Their friends don't have to know. There's certain things you just have to keep to yourself. They said that the worst enemy, the enmity, that's the worst, is the enmity between two friends, because your friend knows everything about you. And the day that you break up, oh boy, look out. So yes, share some things, of course. But some things, kind of hold to your heart. It doesn't mean you don't love your friend, it just means it's just certain things that belong to you. Okay. And then the other thing is that you must embrace change. Things are not going to remain the same in your life. At some point, you're going to have to embrace change. It will happen. Because what happens is once that change comes, another door opens and you walk into a new beginning. See, it's a mindset. How do you look at change? Do you see change as a bad thing? It all depends, of course, on the change. But change will come. Change can be either positive or negative, but the important thing is, how do you react to that change? That determines the effect that the change will have on you. Are you going to sit there and sulk because change happened? You and your boyfriend broke up. Oh, now you're going to go commit suicide. Give me a break. Or I'm going to go drown myself. Life is not worth anything anymore because you broke up. Well, sometimes that happens for a new beginning. Maybe that person is not destined for you. Or that's something that you have, that job. Oh, I lost my job. Oh, woe is me. No, what about the Mercedes I just bought? You know what you do? You look for what you can do to keep that Mercedes. Or you may just have to sell the Mercedes and get something you can afford. Change happens. Change happens. Just be prepared to manage that change, to react to the change positively. Embrace it. When they say this too shall pass, that's change right there. Life happens to all of us. Change is part of life happening to you. I tell you very honestly, if everything works smoothly for us from A to Z, we're not living. Living is being able to experience the good and the bad. And that's how you learn. That's excitement. Because if everything is at your fingertips, what are you looking forward to? If you're hit with change, the excitement about living is, okay, how do I overcome this? Even ask yourself, how did the change that happened last time, how did I overcome it? I'm here. I'm still here in spite of. And that's the reality. In spite of, you're still here. So change will happen to you. You have to learn how to react to change. Okay? I'm going to pause for a minute and read some of the comments that we have here. Let's see. This is from Lamiz. Lamiz says, it's a you thing. Every day for the rest of your life. Laughing from my soul as your phrase. Yes, I said it. Comes to mind as I'm listening to you. Yes, Lamiz, that's right. It's a you thing. Your life it's about you. It's not about those people. It's not about those things. It's about you. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. Sometimes you see very wealthy people, all of a sudden they decide, that's it, I'm done. They sell their things. They go and live in a small, tiny house up in the hills somewhere. I was watching the other day, I was watching a show where they showed some of these African-American families that have moved to it's like almost a desert, and when they started, all of them had little bitty trucks or whatever, and they got to this very open space. And first of all, it was one family, and then they brought the rest of the family, and slowly but surely they all started selling their things just so that they can come to this place. And they were talking about the peace they found, that the joy is not in all those clutter they had accumulated over the years. The joy comes from being, with each other. They don't have to be with strangers. They have to be with families, with their family. And that's what brought them joy. That's why they enjoy where they are now. Because now it is their decision what to let go, who is around them, who they communicate with, who they fraternize with. It is their decision. And it's your decision as well. It's your decision as well. You're not obligated by a long shot. You're not obligated to hold on to things that don't work anymore. Your obligation is to yourself. Like Lamin said, it's about you. Some people may appreciate you, some people may not appreciate you, but keep walking in holy boldness. Look up. Who cares what they think? Let go. That big box I was talking about, luggage, start taking those things out of their luggage. You'll find yourself so much lighter. You find life so much better. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, that we understand that life is just that, life. Change happens. You've got to let go. You cannot, the way you were as an infant is not the way you are today. The way you are as a teenager is not the way you are today. The way you are as a young adult is not where you are today. I don't know where any one of you is, but for my part, I'm now an elder. My life is different from when I was younger. Do I want to go back to younger years? When I think about what I had to do when I was younger, the kind of life I had to live, the struggles, the pursuit of this and no, 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 no. I'm happy where I am now. I am quite happy. Get up in the morning when I want to. I don't have to serve anybody. I don't have to chase anybody. No children to chase around. The grandchildren I have, they're older now, so I don't have to chase around them. But they come and visit. They go back with mom. You see, and then that leaves me and my husband. And when he's not here, it's me to do as I please. I love my age now. I love where I am now. And if that's where you are, love it. Love yourself wherever you go, but wherever you are. But just remember, don't just lug things around with you. Let go. Feel lighter. If you want to go somewhere, if you want to achieve anything in your life, whatever that may be, you're going to have to learn to talk to yourself. Take stock on what's right and what's not, what matters and what doesn't matter. So everything that you have to be a part of, it's not everything that matters. Even as a matter of fact, some things that work for you right now may not work for you 10 years from now. But you cannot log it. It was successful last time, so now I'm going to take it with me. You don't necessarily have to do that. Some of those things, yes, are good to take. But go and open your closet. And I did it the other day. Letting go can be so hard. You buy all this clothing and you hang them neatly in the closet. And some of them you haven't worn them. The last time you wore them was 7 years ago. But they're in your closet. And as long as they're taking space in your closet, you're not going to buy a new outfit. Or if you buy a new one, you're going to keep shoving to make space for the new one. Send them to Purple Heart, Goodwill. Somebody can use them, but they don't have to sit in your closet. Those tight jeans that you wore when you were a teenager, when you were 21, when you were 26, you can't fit them anymore. Maybe it's gives you an opportunity to reminisce about the past. But certain things have got to go. Remove the clutter. You see, when you remove the clutter, you also remove the clutter from your mind, because a lot of things around us create clutter in our minds. So it's really, really important for us to talk about this. Letting go is important. I don't know where you are in your life. What have you let go? Or what are you holding on to? What do you think matters more to you than getting something new? What do you think you have to drag with you every time you move? I got in the habit, for me, I don't know how it works for you. I'm sure you're doing the same thing. Many of us do the same thing. When you get ready to move to a new home, a new place, that old sofa, you drag it with you. Maybe this is a good time to give it away and think about this new space. Give this new space a good new look. Don't drag that old sofa with you, or that old dining table. Maybe you can't afford, again, you have to, as I indicated earlier, you have to reflect. Can you afford a new one? Yes. If you can afford it, leave those behind. Don't drag everything with you. Sometimes the divine gives you the opportunity to have something different, something new, a new space, a new environment, to rediscover yourself, to be somebody new. Sometimes life invites us to experience something new, but we refuse. We just got to drag everything with us. What I had last year, 20 years ago, I have to bring it with me. You don't have to. So I ask all of you, go to your closet. It's a simple thing to do. Let's start with that. There's so many other things you can let go, but let's start with your closet. Open your closet and see what's in it. See what's in it. Do you need all that stuff in there? And even if you lift your clothes, you find underneath there are some old shoes. You've just been, they're neatly packed in boxes. That's yesterday's trend, but you holding on to it. You can't step out there dressed like that. You can't step out there with those shoes on. The world has moved on past you, but you're holding on. Now, I suppose there are certain things that are relics that you may want to hold on to, for posterity, that sort of thing. But for the most part, letting go is a sign of maturity. Letting go is a sign of willingness to move on. Don't. And the other thing is, it's important who you have around you. As you get older, you should be thinning your friends, those that really mean something to you. And don't wait for them to call you. If you think they're not calling you, you call them. If they mean that much to you, take the time and call. Don't wait for them to call. Stop the texting. I'm going to be honest with you, I hate texting. It's important now and then, but if you're my friend, I'm going to call you. Now, if me calling you is bothering you, it tells me a lot about our friendship. It means that, okay, it's time to move on. This is not it. This is an associate, not a friend. When I pick up the phone and call a friend, I want them to be excited that I called. Hey, Dr. O, how are you doing? Oh, what's up? What are the, hey, can you drop by for breakfast? I used to have a friend that I would invite for breakfast. She never invited me back. I don't know if she didn't like my food. I don't know. but I didn't get upset. I just knew that she's moving on, and I'm moving on as well. And I wish her well, and I hope she wishes me well. So there's the people that you disassociate with, doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means that things have changed. Change has come to the table, and you have to look at it, embrace it. It's okay. It's okay. Again, like I indicated, make sure that you have the right kind of friends, because you're going to seek those friends when the time comes for you to have somebody to talk to about letting go. But don't let go of everything, though. Don't tell your friends everything. I learned the hard way. Now, I'm not going to go into it, but just don't, please. Hold some things precious into your heart. Don't give up everything. So as we wrap up today's episode, remember, letting go is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your strength. It's a survival skill. It's the only way you can survive in this overwhelming world. It's the only way. Because when you hold on to everything, trust me, sooner or later, emotionally, you become drained. Emotionally, you become drained. Don't be afraid to let go of what no longer works, no longer serves you. It may just lead you to the community and experiences that will carry you further than you ever imagined. I want to just read some comments here. That's from Lamiz. Intentional living. I let go of my attachment to outcomes and how I think others should show up. So acceptance of what is other people's truths, but responding based on who I am. Yes, Lamiz, that's right. That makes a lot of sense. Let go of my attachment to overcome, to outcomes, and how I think others should show up. That's right. It's about you. Discipline yourself. Be disciplined. That's the only way you can relate to the world, is you have to be disciplined yourself. This too shall pass. Yes, that means this too shall pass. I said that earlier. No condition is permanent. In Nigeria, there's a song that says, there's no condition is permanent in this world. No condition is permanent. Today you're high, tomorrow you're low. Today you're low, tomorrow you're high. Life changes. Embrace change. Be prepared. Every one of us, wherever you are today, be prepared for change. It's coming. I don't know what kind of change it's going to be. Is it going to be that thing that you've been praying for will happen? That will be change. Or that thing that you've been holding on to is going to be gone. That's change. Sometimes we lose family members, we lose friends. And when we say let go, we're not saying let go of the memory of that individual. Let go of what causes you pain. Just you can replace the pain of loss with the joy of memory, remembering that person. I lost my mother. I lost my father. Initially, of course, it was painful. And for you, for all of us, it becomes very, very painful. It is very, very painful when we lose someone. But you know what? After a little while, the pain eases because now you're not focused on that pain. And at least that's what it should be. You don't focus on the pain, the pain of the loss. Now you start to reminisce. Now you start to remember the good times. Oh, when so and so was, now and then I will be with my grandchildren or my children, and I'll remember my dad, and I'll say something because my dad was hilarious. He was hilarious. And he'll make you, there was never a dull moment with dad around. He always will crack you up with his silly dad jokes. It was silly, but we loved it, every bit of it. And so now and then I could be with the children and my kids and my grandchildren. I remind them of grandpa, where, when he said this and when he said that, some of the good stuff, good times we had. And I have a smile on my face. The same thing with my mom. My mother loved to sing. She was a storyteller. She would call us around her feet and tell us stories. And we always look forward to her stories. So her loss was painful, but eventually it stopped being painful because now we start to reminisce about the good times. And that's what happens, So you let go of the pain of loss. And instead what you do is you begin to embrace, to remember the good times, And if you lose a friend, if you have to let that go, you just find everything about that individual that was wonderful, everything about that individual that you can use to cover up the pain. And quite frankly, that is the most difficult thing to let go. The person that you love so dearly passing away. And you have to go on with life without them. Yeah. Letting go is not easy. And anybody who tells you it's easy is lying to you. It's not. It's not. Let me see. I've taken over the chat, but the things you are sharing resonate so deeply. Treasured Dr. Osimiri. Sending loads of love to the other beautiful souls on the chat. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lamiz. I love you. And all those individuals who joined today, those who are watching from different spaces, thank you for joining us today. I'm really hoping that you benefited from this discussion. That's why sometimes I bring friends in. I have guests, and sometimes I don't. Lamiz is a powerful woman who she's in South Africa, and I'm so proud of her and grateful for her to join. And next, we have an episode that we're bringing her back so that she can continue having conversations. She's very powerful and she shares so many words of wisdom that be helpful to all of us, all of you. So she'll be back again, So anyway, I am hoping that you enjoyed today. I'm hoping that you can make a list of all the people, all the things that you can let go, because you don't need to keep them. You don't have to hug everything. You don't have to hug everything. You don't have to have everything. You don't have to keep everything. I'm just hoping that when you leave today, that you ask yourself, okay, based on what Dr. Osimiri talked about today, what are those things that I need to let go? What are those things that I need to let go? Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you're not going to be honest with yourself, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to let you know. I know that you have some things that you should let go. Think about it. Make a list of them. Don't want to take the time and make a list. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to help you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your race is. I don't care if you're male or female. Everybody has baggage. And you need to ask yourself, what is the baggage I've got? Do I need it? Do I need to let it go? That's what we talked about today. Let go. Let go of individuals in your life that's not adding any meaning to you. If you have a bunch of individuals, all you do is text them or your friends. So be careful what you share. But those ones that you know you bring to heart, you talk to all the time, share some of your concerns with them, but not everything, as I said earlier. That's very important, because if that friendship breaks and you've given them everything, oh, some of them are vindictive and they'll come back at you with everything you've told them, so you be careful with that. I want to leave you with this. All of us are responsible for our health. Now, many of us, the doctor tells us, eat healthy, and we tend to think that eating healthy means just not enjoying food anymore. So you have individuals that say, bucket, I am going to eat whatever I want to eat. But by making that decision, you have to live with the consequences of not being good to yourself. You have to let go of some of those things that you love to eat, but they're not good for you. Particularly when you've been told, let it go. Let it go. Find good substitutes for what you love to eat. Because some of those things that it will take you, bring you closer to your grave. So let go of foods that are not good for you. And these days, in this country, unfortunately, much attention is not being paid on food safety. And so you don't even know what you're eating, if it's healthy for you. So you have to be a little bit, find some way to be to add some discernment to what you eat, because that's another important thing that you must let go. That's very, very important. Now, thank you for joining me today. Remember to subscribe and share this episode with anyone who might need a little inspiration to go, to let go and rediscover themselves. There are so many people that you know in your life that could use this video. I urge you to send it to them. Have a conversation with them about it. Don't keep it all to yourself. Not everybody joined this show today, but there are some individuals that you may find need to hear this. And of course, it helps the organization. It helps the show if you share. The algorithms, like and share, that helps us. That helps the show. And I want to read the last comment here from my dear friend again, Lamise. This has been inspiring to my spirit. Thank you for the gift of your phenomenal woman of my heart. I appreciate you. Oh, I appreciate you, Lamise, more than you ever know. That these are the kinds of people, you want people who motivate you, people who share some of your vision, some of your thoughts. You have camaraderie. Those are the kind of people that I love in my life. So let me thank you. Now, really, I'm looking forward to when we bring you back to the show. So everyone, wherever you are, take care. This is a blessed day. Many did not see this day, and here you are, walking amongst the living. Is that good? I love it. I want you to just have a swell day. Don't waste this day, because tomorrow is not promised. You all know that tomorrow never comes. All you got is today. So make the most of today. This from your internet auntie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me in the show. I'm looking forward to you joining us again next time on the Untomado Show. Now, you know what? I want to leave you today with additional what is it? This musical AI, beautiful. I can't even overstate it. How beautiful it is. Let me play it. Yes. Angel Art. It's on YouTube. You need to check it out. Absolutely breathtaking. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you with me today. Time is up, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. You take care, and so it is.